Welcome along, it is finally the Season 2 finale here in JACKOCAR. We're at Brazil. Who doesn't love a finale at Brazil? It's the Championship 5, and we've got 3 people in the commentary box. Who doesn't love that as well? I'm your commentator, Owen Wyatt, as you all know. With me, we've been bigging it up for weeks. Back again, it's Ginger Andy. Welcome along. Can't believe you're here again.
Oh, fantastic to be here again for another massive race in JACKOCAR. You know, it was great to be involved in the charity race a few weeks ago. And of course, the last Championship 5 a season ago. And what a finale that was. And I'm sure this is going to be just the same. I'll just love the format. You're guaranteed drama. And what a racetrack to come and bring the drama. A place where in real life, we see title fights go to the wire all the time. 2008, Lewis Hamilton, Brazil, 2 corners from the end. 2005, Fernando Alonso winning the title. It's just so many great years. 2012 as well, where Sebastian Vettel and Fernando Alonso did battle in the drizzly rain. This is just a fantastic venue for a championship finale. I'll never know why in real life Formula 1 we go to the desert, because they just need to stay here. This is the place where the Formula 1 title showdown should be, and I'm just glad and delighted it's the case in JACKOCAR, and I'm delighted to be here. I'm really looking forward to it, Owen.
It's going to be a stunning race. Also with me in the commentary box, of course, is Jacko. He's, well, the guy's going to keep us from going too crazy.
Yeah, I've decided to be the voice of reason once again this season, because I know what you two are like when you get together, but it's been an exciting day, a build-up. We had the end of season awards to start us off, and then obviously the hot lap Andy that you commentated over with me, and then we moved on to a pre-race concert. First time an eSports League has ever done that, and of course the video just about an hour ago now with all the good luck messages from people like Matt De Benedetto, all with Zost and Dylan. We've had a hell of a day, great build up to a race. It's only an eSports race as well, but here we are, and can't wait to get going. And first incident of the day, Bill has forgotten to leave the garage for qualifying, but not to worry.
That's a bit of an annoyance. Hopefully he still has a couple of seconds to maybe get it sorted, and there is the car about to come out. He'll get away with that one just about as he gets ready to come out onto the track.
Then he's a whole minute late if that's Bill.
Well, says on my thing 16 minutes 15 seconds. He left just after the 15-second window, so I think he's alright actually. So
of course, because you know
obviously we're in our commentary spot because only 19 people, remember?
Yes,
because there's 3 of us.
Of course, I knew that.
Well, I hope you knew that. You're the one who makes the rules.
Great start.
We've come a long way in 2 years now. I know more than you do. Ha ha ha. Anyway, this is Brazil. Obviously, Andy, you did the track video earlier on, looking at Jacko's up. Hopefully, we'll get slightly quicker times today, but yeah, should be a fascinating qualifying this one. It looks like we're going to stay dry as well, so it's all going to be down to the driver's raw pace.
Yeah, I mean, about the racetrack, I think it's a great track. As I mentioned, great for the title finale. It's one of the shortest out there. You know, 72nd lap time we're looking at here. And, you know, 15 turns, many of them not really corners, especially, you know, coming up the hill here as Bill is. It's not really flat out, it's simple enough. You know, it's a great venue, great for overtaking, just 2.6 kilometres in length, 2.6 miles actually in length, one of the shortest there is. And yeah, looking forward to this as Bill starts his flying lap going through that legendary Senna S. I mean, it's just so good. It's perfect for a title fight, as I mentioned, with the weather and stuff, and it's great for overtaking too. And this is one of those great spots. Bill heading down into turn 4, into Desiro do Lago. Great place to go for an overtake, as is the Senna S. And you know what? We've even seen those round the outside up into the corner he's approaching now, turn 6. And you know, that really does separate the men from the boys. That really would be brave to make a move there, wouldn't it?
Alright, I'm sure someone's going to try potential last lap heroics. I'm sure all these championship contenders are sort of already considering how they're going to deal with a last minute attack if they need to do it, because they'll all be thinking about 2008. They'll all have to be thinking about it. They might, some of them, even be thinking about the IR8 race a few seasons ago, back when that was still a thing, because we had wet weather here, and a few of these guys were encountering punctures right at the very end, so they all sort of know what this track can do. They can certainly bite. And so they've all got to be so prepared. And especially these Championship 5, it's a very easy lap to invalidate on as well, actually. So they've all got to make sure they're very careful to keep it in the track, not mess
Something
it up.
that Paul McGuinness hasn't done, by the way, as he is the first driver to invalidate. Just looking at Bill's time there, the 1 minute 8.6, that's fairly competitive. And it's one of those tracks, a bit like Austria, where it's going to close everybody up together in qualifying.
Well, we're looking at 1 minute 6s. Some people are suggesting them.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that pans out. They need to make sure they get the laps done, though. As you say, Paul McGuinness into the pit lane because he hasn't got his lap done. That sums his season up perfectly, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Bang on. I think this is his 9th or 10th race. Unbelievably, quite a lot for him. And he's going to be starting at the back, of which I think he started around the last 3 or 4 positions for 70% of those races. But on to Newgarden now in the 53 car. One of those drivers to fill in mid-season. Team speed.
Yes, he's been involved in a few interesting moments this season, I believe, as well. He was actually sort of one of the main factors, you could argue, to Iceman getting into this race in the first place as one of the title contenders. Because if you remember in Singapore, Iceman crashed into him and lost his front wing. It caused safety car to put him on the podium. It was quite a weird twist of events, but that's what the new safety car rule has done to this league. It mixes things up. So he's played his part here, Newgarden, and getting one of the final drivers here. Let's see how he does though for his first lap. He's got a 1 minute 8.6 to beat, stays tight to the inside line, and does go top.
So there you go then, a 1 minute 8.2 then for Speed Newgarden, so 2 times the board. He is ahead of Bill, but you're thinking 1 minute 60s perhaps by the end of the session. We'll see how close we get to that. So who's next out there on the lap?
Baza.
So
the first driver who did a video in the video message, the good luck video earlier on today.
Yeah, Baza 86. I've got to say, Jacko, I'm very impressed by the amount of effort you put into this and the build-up as Baza goes quickest with a 1 minute 8.1. So many features today, great build-up, and it's hopefully going to live up to that build-up this race, and I'm sure it will.
It's been great fun, particularly making all the videos for it, but getting everybody excited for it. And even though there's all the attention tonight's going to be on 5 guys as we look at Connor, everybody's still very much involved in the league, trying to make it the best it possibly can be, trying to raise the bar, let's say. Connor invalidates.
He wasn't even close to taking that corner properly.
Yeah, it's the same for him. I think he was in a decent lap there. I've got to say, I really am liking the livery that Connor is sporting. I like that with a little bit of dash of purple. It kind of shines beautifully off the car under the grey skies. So Connor then jumps into the pits, and that's his lap ruined. So 3 times on the board, but as a quickest of all, we've got Riley out there on a hot lap, and he's going through that tight, twisty middle sector. Just one of your thoughts on this middle sector. You're a racer, you do a lot on this race again. It's a bit like deja vu, isn't it? You go through 6, 7 and 8 down the hill, and then you're going back uphill for a really similar sequence of corners, aren't you?
Yeah, it's just a section of track as well that you can't really do much racing at. You go up there and you're in a massive train, and you're just, all you use that for is saving ERS, so it can be quite easy actually to lose a bit of concentration up there, just because it is a bit, sort of as you say, deja vu as Riley goes up to the top. But yeah, it's an interesting section of track. It gives you a good chance to save ERS, so I'll certainly be interested to see how they actually use that saving in the race, because that could be crucial to how this result goes tonight. And next driver, by the way, on the lap, we've got TC, and after him we've got the first of our title contenders, and Jamie Wright. He wanted to go early for some reason, and he's not even on the mediums, he's going completely all for it, and he'll be starting his lap just now. But we'll watch TC first, got to give him his screen time, and he still hasn't put gold on the car, so no wonder he isn't in the Championship 5. I told him put gold on it and he hasn't bothered. The helmet doesn't count. The helmet doesn't count. Should have put it on the car. I got to tell him next season. Put it on the frickin' car next season.
Yeah, a bit of gold on the helmet, a bit of gold in the gloves as well. But nope, Owen's not having it. He wants a bit of gold in the car. As TC negotiates Pico de Pato and heads down the hill. You want to stay away from that curb on the exit. It's so easy to spin, and on the on the left-hand side as you swoop down the hill, because it's so easy to unsettle the car as TC negotiates his way through that section of track, and at the minute has not invalidated that, and he might get a nice little toe, no he won't, off Riley, and he'll take the shortest route to the line. Currently 10th, no time yet, and he pops into 2nd place. So Riley's time at the top stays at the top. He had put 6 tenths between him and Baza. TC slots into that gap right in the middle, 3 tenths off of Riley. So TC goes second quickest of all.
J-Luke Purple, Wandy, as he's coming up to the line. Sorry to interrupt you. 1:06.9, the benchmark of the championship drivers.
The man in the purple car goes P1. As you would expect, I guess, for that car, but it's a good start. And I must say, a lovely looking livery as well. It's not a Lotus. Thank goodness for that.
You can see I'm rusty with this qualifying format. Thanks for cutting across because I needed you to.
Sorry, man.
No, you're absolutely right. Just missed that one. But yeah, J-Luke going quickest of all, 1:69, slicing 7/10 off of Riley's effort. And yeah, that's a big time. And as you suspected, on into the 1 minute 60s for one of the championship 5.
Here is Yuri then. He's on his lap. He's keeping the Alexander Rossi colours. I mean, he's got a mix of both. Look, you can see his helmet design and all that's with the yellow Napa design. He's got the purple and black one. You can tell this is all I know this car for. And I'm not too sure it's had the best results this season. He wants to end on a high though, Yuri.
Did
speed.
Get that P2 in Spa, don't forget.
He did have the speed too as well. Now, he's part of the speed team, which are the team of the season. Unbelievably, merely because they had such a great comeback from nowhere to loads of drivers straight in the championship fight, and he goes up to P2, not bad.
Yeah, not bad. MK Bond's actually gone quick through the second sector. Purple is showing up, so let's see what he's got as he comes towards the end of the lap then, as he swoops down the hill where that massive crash happened for Mark Webber back in 2003, you may remember, when it red flagged and Alonso ended up in the wall as well, as MK Bond goes third quickest on a 1 minute 7.5, some 6/10 away from J-Luke, but very close between he and Yuri, but just a fraction slow.
We've got Dexter in his Dr. Pepper cream soda car. Well, that's what I'm calling it, but it seems to work. It's lovely. Last of the playoff drivers, or first of the playoff drivers actually, on track this evening. The rest are all from the chase.
Gotta say, I mean, we've said it all season, this guy has had some of the best liveries. I know you gave Arnold the best sort of overall livery for...
well, that was the public, not me.
Well, public, yes, but for me, certainly this season, we've said it all the way through, really, haven't we? That Dexter has had the best liveries. He's been so unique with them. And another fantastic one to finish his season off. So he might not win an official award for it, but he's got my respect for liveries, and apparently that's a big thing these days. So, up to the line, will the livery give him any good pace?
Started it.
It's P6, not bad.
I've got to say, it's certainly an interesting colour. I mean, there's no doubt about that. I have to say, you're bang on with that Dr. Pepper description. That's exactly what it looks like. And yeah, he goes sixth quickest. So KK out there on his hot lap at the minute.
Banger delivery, that, isn't it?
Which I'm going to talk about, which I really like. But that's coming up next. As Okeke then makes his way down the hill towards the end of that second sector. And what's he doing through the middle part of the lap? Not too sure. 51.4 up to this point. So he'll now head up the hill and towards the end. Can he get into the 1 minute 60? There's only one man there so far, and it's one of the championship 5. Surprise, surprise. So Okeke takes the shortest route to the line. As you'd expect, it's not going to be in the 160s. It's a 178, and he goes 5th quickest then. So the times slowly tumbling, but still J-Luke, the only man in the 1 minute 60s. Now, the onboard of Jordan's car, I think it looks absolutely magnificent, stunning. I really do think it's a nice car. It's a little bit like McLaren, isn't it? But I think it's really nice.
Validation.
It's a nice livery, but he hasn't validated the lap. What a shame for Jordan. I do certainly agree, the livery looks absolutely stunning, doesn't it? But what a shame he hasn't got a lap to go with it.
Jordan's second fastest in the time trial standings for Brazil, so that is a shame.
Oh dear. Yeah,
I think a bit of blue on there for his beloved Sheffield Wednesday as well.
Yeah, I love it. Love to see it. Nice, very nice colours. Probably my favourite design I've seen on the game.
It does look a bit like an Iron Brew, doesn't it, actually? Maybe that's why you like it.
It does.
That's why I likes it.
No, it's actually not the case, but yes, now that you said that, I like it even more.
Yeah.
Better than Dr. Pepper, eh?
Absolutely. Sorry, Dexter.
We've got a bit of rivalry with deliveries already then. Here is Risky.
Risky is running JACKOCAR colours, by the way.
Yeah, so we're not allowed to hate this one.
No, this
not
is
that
beautiful.
I would. But anyway, moving quickly on. Up the hill, he's about to finish his lap, and well, we're getting close now to this crunch stage. We've got Iceman out onto the track, and he's one of the Championship 5, of course. As Risky goes P5, and I'm just trying to see. Pete
left a session, didn't he? That's why he's still in the
so he hasn't come back. My Iceman, we've got yet another livery. Look at this. Loving
Not
this.
a fan. Not a fan.
Not a fan.
Not for me. No, not for me.
Interesting.
Too much going on. Too much going on.
I can tell you what it stands for. The purple is Ben's favourite colour, and the gold represents his Chase Championship win from last week. I don't know what the black's for, but it works.
It reminds me of Sebastian Vettel's gold helmet from his German Grand Prix 2013. As always, what those colours remind me of. It's a great livery, love it. But let's hope it gives him a good lap time, because this is another one of those Championship 5. He needs this to go up to P1. Nothing else will do for him right now. He has to beat his other Championship rivals, and one of them is sitting P1, so he's got to be straight into his 1:06s.
Yeah, very, very important stage of the session now. This is so crucial. Of course, it's a track where we can see overtaking, so qualifying isn't absolutely everything, but you want to be ahead of your title rivals. You want to have that upper hand. Remember, everyone's level of points. There's no such thing as points. Whoever finishes highest is champion. So you want to be as high as you can be on the grid. So here comes Speed Iceman heading up the hill, and he is purple through that middle sector. He's lighting up those timing screens, so he'll take the shortest run to the line. He'll hug the inside with his favourite granny. Is it enough for quickest? No, he goes for a 1:07.5, and crucially, there's 3 cars between he and J-Luke, and that will not please him.
Here is Camo Babo then. Look at him. He's got another great livery. These are so good. They've really come out here for this final race and given us some superb designs. As Arno's about to set his lap as well.
Barmy Army in the chat as well, Owen and Andy. He's got a following support. The oldest man in fighting for the title, the man from Sheffield.
The man who's got a girlfriend as well, sadly. Or has he got a girlfriend?
Her name is Alice.
It's unbelievable. We
Shout
need
out to Alice if she's watching.
Yes. Very
well,
lucky.
the eye of the tiger heading down the hill, because look at this for a livery. It really is just like a tiger, isn't it? So here we go towards the line for Camo Babo. Can he move up towards the front? It's a 1:77, and he's only 6th quickest. So it's advantage J-Luke at the minute with only 2 of the title contenders to go.
I'm about to say it again. Look at this for a livery. We're getting used to this now, aren't we? Arnold, another superb design.
Love it.
He's
love it.
abandoned his home colours, but I don't really mind that too much. He's got sort of other home colours on. These are speed colours, I'd imagine. So certainly representing his team. Nice helmet as well. And it's not, I don't think, as quick as Jamie. No one appears to be going as quickly as Jamie at the moment. So Jamie, half a second clear at the top. Arnold, can he get that thing to the front row? Can he get it up to P1? Let's see. Where's he going to go? I think he'll struggle. Yeah, it's only P2. So it's all down to Kyle then. He's in the middle sector right now. He's about to come down the hill. And we need to see this sort of be a sort of mid to low 50 here. What's the middle sector? Oh, I don't know. I really don't know what it is. So this is going to be a very, very close session right now.
10th in it, 10th in it, I think. I've just looked at the 2 sector times on Race Director there. So there's a 10th in it. Kyle's going to have some monumental straight line speed if he wants to deny J-Luke. I don't think he's going to, and he doesn't. A 10th away, and it's J-Luke who takes the advantage going into the race. He's on pole, Kyle's second, and Arnold is third. So 3 of the 5 all lining up in the front 3 places. Could you ask for any more?
It's kind of what we expected, but even though there's a gap there, I'm still fully expecting a show from those 3. And of course, Iceman and Camo, this being JACKOCAR, they are not out of it.
Of course not. Of course not. Especially with simulation damage, the chance of safety cars as well. We've seen it, didn't we, in China last year? Just how much drama happened in that title fight. It swung one way, then the other, but there is the order going into tomorrow's race, or the race in a few moments, I should say.
Right, here we go. It's Jamie on pole from Kyle and Arnold. They are Championship 5 contenders. We've got Yuri 4th, great qualifying for him, must be one of his best so far. MK Bourne in 5th, Iceman, another Championship 5 contender in 6th, Riley, then Camo Babo, the last contender in 8th, then Risky, OKK, TC, Dexter, Baz and Newgarden, Bill, Pete, Connor, Paul and Jordan. That is your final grid of the season. And we don't really know the weather for the race yet. We'll see when it comes in. As far as I can tell, we'll be dry, but I'll say that, and then we'll cut to a thunderstorm. So let's just be patient on this.
Just reading the chat, boys. Inferior car, but superior driver. That is one of Camo Babo's Barmy Army in the chat.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how this all goes in the race then. see if that is true. Pete's joined back, that's good news, I think. He was probably now quite happy that he bottled the chance to get into this race last week, obviously with that last minute spin in Canada, which cost him the chance to be in the championship fight today. It was that close, 30 seconds away from it, and it fell away. And then he missed qualifying as well, so that would have been a real heartbreak for him. But he can now sit back and enjoy a race from near the back of the grid, and a race that is going to close off a very good season. 17 races, fantastic racing, and yeah, I absolutely can't wait for this one.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely phenomenal. I'm excited to see how the start goes. I mean, as we've touched on simulation damage, it's quite a tight first corner, isn't it? I mean, you do often get a lot of incidents here in Brazil in the first couple of corners, so it's going to be very important that the drivers keep their nose clean, especially those in the title fight, and the two of them that aren't in the front three places especially. So let's see how it goes as the lights come on for the formation lap.
Now remember, we have 2 stops for everybody, since there's no jokers or anything like that, so that means everyone has to pit twice, and remember, you cannot pit on the safety car unless you've got sufficient damage to the car. And so that's very important to note, and we'll see the tyres are all on now. Top 10 obviously all on the sauce that they qualified on. Then we have TC, Dexter, Baza, Newgarden, Paul McGuinness and Jordan on the mediums outside the top 10. Only 3 on the sauce there, being Bill, Pete and Connor. And no one going near the hards. I don't expect to see anyone near the hards at all unless you have any accidents. But look at how colourful this grid is. They really, like I say, have turned up here. And it's now starting to become maybe a bit pressured for Camo Babu, who's already got disqualified from the out lap. Let's not make any contact on lap 1, eh?
Yeah, well, hopefully they can all keep it clean. But yeah, interesting to see the mix of tyre compounds. Obviously, the majority of those outside the top 10 opting for the longer strategy. So what's that? 6 out of 9 on those medium compounds. So that, you know, they're going to go longer into the race. I mean, certainly doesn't seem like there's going to be any chance of rain. Otherwise, I think we'd have seen a few more drivers in qualifying go for a different choice of tyre. So yeah. It certainly looks like it's going to be a dry one here in Brazil, which is a rarity in a championship decider, isn't it? We usually get a little bit of drizzle to spice it up, but I'm pretty sure this does not need any spicing up whatsoever. 3 of the title contenders, all in the top 3 places, and the others further down the grid. 6th and 8th for the others.
Just saw Arnold have a little venture onto the grass on the formation lap. Not too sure what that's about, but
Tension.
He always does this on a slow lap, isn't it? It's always a slow lap. Same as we saw in the charity race. He just can't help himself. He's really got to make sure he keeps us on the track today. This is we still could argue is the one who sort of has the best form going into this. He's really been the man on form.
He's won 3 of the last 6 races. A win in every single playoff round. Something I never thought I'd see when I created the league, but we've seen it. Arnold's done it. He is the in-form man. Jamie's the man who's bigged himself up all season about Brazil. Kyle, most successful driver this season.
He won the last race as well, remember?
Yeah. Until, of course, we took it off of him. Steward him, but...
he crossed the line first.
Yeah, and Camo and Iceman, of course, the outside shot, but do not rule them out.
Right, here we go then.
Over to you.
The season is about to end. We're about to crown a champion. 36 laps from now, we will know who the JACKOCAR Season 2 champion is. It's Jadick on the left, and it's Cal on the right. And boogity boogity boogity, let's go racing. Looks like a poor start for Jamie, and now it goes right around the outside. Arnold wants to have a go for the lead. We're 3 wide with a championship contenders, and there's a lot of debris going through there. I don't think the contenders are in trouble, and I believe that's Kyle off into the lead of the race. We've got a virtual safety car, and I believe that is Kyle from Jamie, from Yuri, from Arnold, and Camo, Babu and Iceman right behind it as well, potentially, although we're waiting for the order to fix itself up. Could be a bit wrong. There's still debris flying around. Iceman has been involved in something, and his penalty's been thrown around.
Risky has damage there. Didn't see it from anybody else.
Yeah, Risky
Iceman has damage on his front wing.
Iceman also with damage. Camo Babu's okay. Arnold, how's he? I saw some cyan stuff flying about. Not too sure if it's his or not.
6 cars with 5-second time penalties. Crucially, one of them is Speed Iceman. So one of the championship 5 with an early penalty, and that is not good. So I presume there's been a game issue there to have 6 cars with a 5-second time penalty. So that is a sickener for Speed Iceman.
The rest of the championship contenders, I believe, are fine, and that is 4 of them in the top 6. It's only the Dutchmen, as we've got Yuri and Riley in there as well. We've got on green again, and it looks like Yuri wants to put a move on Jamie, but Jamie also wants to put a move on Kyle. They're all so close on the way out to turn 1, and Kyle is going to have a massive amount of pressure on now as Yuri decides to hold back.
He's got a drive-through penalty, Owen. He sped under the VSC there.
I think NK... No, he didn't, sorry. I thought NK Bourne got one as well, but I don't think he did. I think that might be just another penalty. And there, Yuri lets through his speed teammate Arnold off to chase the leaders now.
Well, we're back on the way, and we're racing proper after a quick virtual safety car. So Kyle has the advantage, Jay looks second, and Arnold in third position. And Yuri, as you say, letting his man go to go on the hunt of the leading 2. So this is it. 36 laps ahead of the drivers, and whoever comes out on top of the Championship 5 will be crowned champion. And now, as we mentioned before in qualifying, this can go right to the wire. It could be all about saving up the ERS for the final lap dash up to the finish line. So much can happen over the next few laps, but we'll have to see how it pans out. It's Kyle from J-Look, from Arnold. Camel Babel currently 6th at the minute, and Iceman, things looking bleak at the minute, down in 14th place. So at the minute, 3, maybe 4 in it, one of them in real trouble, but it's early doors.
It is early doors, and it's important to note that obviously that's a pit stop done now, isn't it, for Iceman? So that could come back later on.
Back into contention.
Safety car puts him straight back in it. And TC into the pits as well. We've got 7 of the 19 drivers into the pits with damage already in this race. Sorry, it is 8 actually, it is 8. It's incredible.
Riley and Yuri going
Riley and Yuri. Tell you what, Camo would love this to keep going for a little while longer. He needs to find a way to get ahead of these 2. If they keep fighting the way they are, that'll be a perfect opportunity, but Camo just has to sit back. Yuri nearly loses it at the top of the hill, and Riley is up into 4th place.
Yeah, nice racing there between the 2 of them. You're absolutely right. Yuri all over the road on the exit. Just got a little bit of curb. You don't want to be touching those curbs, and back end went round, but he keeps it all together. Riley moves up into 4th. And you know, I've got to ask you guys, who do you think, if anyone, is going to be able to put the spanner in the works amongst the contenders for this title? Is Riley that man? Has he got the pace? What do you think?
Short track merchant. It's a rather short track it is, isn't it?
Riley's been fast all season long, particularly at these short tracks. He's not yet turned it into a podium. He's had a couple of top 5s, but surely that time is coming as Yuri looks for a move down the inside into turn 1. He's not going to quite do it. Riley retains P4, but he's under pressure now, and like you say, Owen, Camo Babbo sticking right behind these 2 right now.
Riley was all over the curb there on the way through turn 3. That's cost him a lot of time, and Yuri will go side by side into turn 4, and onto the grass he goes, and they're nearly making contact, nearly getting damage. Camo Babbo is losing, hemorrhaging time. He's got NK Bourne behind him as well. And Yuri thought about going around the outside. This could be Camo Babbo's chance, and there's an opening, but as I say, in this middle sector, it's so difficult to find a way through. And this is what's going to be the problem for Camo Babbo at the moment.
Yeah, it's absolutely vital. Camo Babbo clears these cars immediately. The front 3 will be licking their lips. They'll be thinking, right, we get an opportunity to turn a 5-car title fight into just 3. I'm not forgetting Iceman. I know he's made a pit stop, but he'll be in traffic. And there's a real opportunity here for those to break away, because Camo Babbo is stuck behind Riley and Yuri. He needs to get a move on, get these moves done, and get down the road and chase those top 3. So let's see if he can do that right now. Yuri looks like he's coming straight into the pits already.
Maybe there was damage.
He comes, and that will release Camo Babbo up 1 place, so he'll be delighted about that. He needs to get after Riley immediately.
No damage for Yuri. I guess that might be just strategy call. Also, a 1 stop here is pretty simple, so I guess you could make that stop whenever you want. He's doing a drive-through.
Everybody 11th down has crucially got that first stop out of the way.
Yeah, did we see that pop up about his drive-through? I guess we did, didn't we? When we were on about it, we did.
Yes.
And we got some side-by-side. Paul McGinn is in 7th place. What's going on with him? That's his
nosebleed.
Wow, that's incredible. Obviously, last time he was this high, he binned it. But I mean, you know, let's not go and talk about that again. But he's having a good one so far.
Big fan of that livery on Paul McGuinness, Scottish colours. Also, Kilmarnock colours as well. And I had to squeeze that one in.
He's not done Scotland or Kilmarnock proud though this season, sadly. He had that P6 in Bahrain, and then, as Owen rightfully said, binned it in Holland, chasing Khalifa for I think P3 at the time. But this is his best run since then. Hopefully he can bring home some good points tonight.
Well, even if his form's not great, he's still doing better than Kilmarnock, but hey-ho. Go on, Paul. Really proud. So, out front, half a second between Kyle and J-Luke. Looks like J-Luke's really starting to reel that gap in. He's staying within range. We know how powerful the DRS is on this game. It's so strong. But what do you think he's going to be planning at the minute then, Owen? Do you think he's just going to be sitting there, charging the battery, just stay within striking distance and then go for that attack later?
He's got to save the ERS. The DRS will help Jamie on the way up the hill, so he doesn't need to use the ERS as much. He's got to be in a position where he's got, maybe not a full tank, but enough to give it a decent go on all of the straights on the lap. So that's all the way up the hill and all the way to turn 4. That's his way of getting through. But at this stage of the race, you could argue it's a bit pointless to actually go for that move. So maybe Jamie could be better saving the ERS, pitting, and doing it via the undercut. Because as I say, you can really sort of pick whenever you want round here for whatever you want. The tyres will last, they'll do you fine. So it'll be interesting to see what they decide to do here. I'd be more interested really in seeing what Arnold does, because he's not really got the pace, has he? He's already fallen away. So yeah, he might have to think about pulling the trigger here.
Yeah, you took the words straight out of my mouth. I was about to mention that. It's very interesting. 7 laps into this race, he's already 3 seconds behind the leading 2. That's an enormous amount of gap to lose. That's half a second a lap. So I don't know what's going on with Arnold, because you guys have mentioned it. He's been the form man 3 of the last 6 races. What is going on here? 3 seconds off the pace. The front 2 are disappearing off into the distance, and at the minute Arnold's best hope is if these 2 start squabbling.
Well, we'll see how it pans out. Again, it is only lap 7, and
it is.
remember last week, it was all decided until the safety cars started to come, and it absolutely shook it up. But I do agree, Arnold, he needs some sort of divine intervention at this point, because he doesn't really seem to have much. Mind you, he is saving the ERS a lot more, but so is everyone else now. Kyle and Jamie are starting to save it, so yeah, I'm running out of excuses for him, but hopefully he'll find his way back up eventually.
Yeah, now of course they might pull the trigger early, as you suggested, and make a move on to different tyres, soft tyres of course for all of those 3 in the title fight at the front. Camel Babel also on the softs, but stuck at the minute behind Riley, a second off, and not really making massive inroads to suggest that he's got a massive pace advantage. So Camel Babel kind of stuck there in 5th place at the minute, but really needs to get the finger out and make that move. But J-Luke at the minute just staying there static in 2nd place behind Kyle, and I think we'll just move away from the title fight for now and have a look further down the field. We've got anything else going on. We've got Baz. I think he's just been overtaken by Dexter moments ago. Is that correct?
Yep.
Not sure. I've just been watching. Pete just made his 2nd pit stop, gone onto the hards. He's in the same TV frame as the leaders behind him, so he will be looking for a safety car unless those leaders soft start to go off soon. But Pete, first man with 2 stops done.
So here's what we're putting out then, obviously, that these guys on the mediums, Paul being the leader of those guys in mediums, they will probably lead the race at some point, and they'll have a bit of a better option on strategy to go soft at the end, which I'd assume is their plan.
Pit stop, J-Luke. Oh, J-Luke, goodness me! Big mistake for J-Luke on pit entry. He's clipped the barrier, damaged the front wing, and nearly went into the other barrier, and at the end of his race, that is what pressure can do to you in a title fight. Lapse of concentration, new front wing required for J-Luke, and is that his title hopes up in smoke? We know that plenty can happen in JACKOCAR, but that is a bitter, bitter blow after just 9 laps.
Well, Kyle said to me earlier on that he'd be watching the stream, he'd have it on the background as much as he could to know what's going on, so he will most likely know that that's just happened to you, so I'm sure that will affect the way he's thinking about this. But let's first of all see where Jamie comes out, because he is now behind quite a few people, isn't he? But he is crucially ahead of OK. So if we get a safety car still at this point, he's still in an OK position.
Yeah.
But he needs to make sure he's not that safety car. And well, I wouldn't be at all surprised if you see Kyle pulling off into the pits now. Surely he'll know what's happened.
Yeah, all that mistake does is it brings the likes of Arnold, Riley and Camo Babbo back into it, which is just going to give Kyle that clearance and maybe even the confidence he needs to press on, provided no more instance of a safety car or VSC.
He's in, and so is Arnold, and so is Riley, and so is Camo Babbo. They're all pouring into the pits. Let's see if Kyle will be held here. There's a good chance he might.
Oh my goodness, he's going to lead this race, boys.
I think
it's so close.
It's so close. You could argue he should have been. He went straight into the side, didn't he, of the ghosted car. and I'm very surprised he wasn't held, actually.
So where will Kyle rejoin? Is it going to be in traffic? That's the big question here. There's a good chance it might be in a bit of traffic. So out onto the racetrack he goes, and where's he going to be? He's going to be very close with Jordan, and that is traffic. So if there's any glimmer of hope for J-Luke, instead of Kyle's in traffic.
Oh, I think Camu Babo was someone's been in the wall. Sorry to interrupt. Someone's been in the wall on that pit exit. It's Riley, not Camu Babo, but that'll be Riley into the pits. That's a good news for Jamie and Camu Babo, who is right on the back of Jamie now. And Kyle, I believe he's got past Jordan there.
Yeah, so Kyle looking very strong at the minute. I'm riding on board with Camu Babo as J-Luke dives up the inside of Riley, makes that move stick. So crucial move for Jamie. He knows he needs to get the move on now. That mistake in the pits has cost him dear. Camu Babo will be desperate to try and cling on to his coattails, but he's in a part of the lap where overtaking is so difficult. But surely Riley will peel off into the pits. You can see the undershield, you can see the struggle and the difficulty to find any grip. With that lack of downforce, and surely he will pour straight into the pits. Meanwhile, Jamie is absolutely flying, and he's desperate to make up for lost time. He's riding the slipstream behind Yuri. Yuri covers the middle of the road, defends to the left-hand side. Here we go, round the outside we go. J-Luke into the centre S. Is he going to make it?
What's going to race him?
Contact between them. Look how much he's squeezing him, Yuri. And J-Luke finally gets the job done.
He's had let him through. He cut the corner. He cut it massively. And
straight back through.
Camu Babo also got Riley, who stayed out, and now this is really going to put Jamie under pressure. He had the field attempt of getting by Yuri. Of course, he's part of Team Speed. He's not going to want to give Jamie any chance here. And this is where Jamie could crack under pressure as he goes right round the outside. He has to go on the track. Surely Camu Babo will see his opportunity here. This is a massive opportunity to make a position up here. But look at that. Right. Oh, Jamie and Yuri are so close to contact. Surely Yuri's going to be diving up his inside. Oh, yes, he is. Yeah. Here comes Camu Babo to try and take advantage. He's now side by side with Jamie. And on the way down the hill.
Jamie needs to be so careful because Yuri's just going to hang him out to dry on the washing line at every single corner. And every time he does that, he gives Camu Babo an opportunity to slide up the inside and say thank you very much. So Jamie needs to get himself on the inside of Yuri, unless he's got great overspeed, which he does. Yuri pits anyway, but the damage can be done because here comes Camu Babo from a long way back. Thinks about it, but doesn't quite go for the move. And Jamie will hold on to that place, and now he can get up the road. But is the damage done? Is Arnold and Kyle already gone?
6.2 seconds up the road. It's not good news, that, for Jamie.
Arnold, this race gone.
And Arnold is reeling in Kyle 4 seconds before the start. Only 1.8 now. He's finding speed.
Finally, let's see what he can do. He's someone's got to challenge Kyle today, because Kyle looks like he's having it all fallen to his lap at the moment. I can't believe, though, guys, that Camu Babo didn't fancy a look there on Jamie.
Well, too early for him, I expect. But
yeah, you heard the sigh of disappointment, I'm sure.
I thought I seen wing damage on Kyle's car.
You did.
The speed. Has he got damage yet?
It was from in front of Kyle, whoever that car is. It's Bazza, I think.
I'm trying to see.
It's come from. It retires in the pits.
I don't know who this is coming from, this damage. It wouldn't be Pete, because he retired ages ago. It's not Bazza, I don't think.
No, Pete's only just retired. He did it in the pit lane about 20 seconds ago.
Okay, so Arnold, I'm just going to say this now, 1/3 race distance. Welcome to the party. Welcome along to this race. He's lighting up the time screens, 1.7 off of Kyle, and starting to put the boot down. And not only that, Kyle is now stuck behind Bazza, so if Bazza can hold him there, Arnold could be just creeping up a little bit here and joining the battle for this victory today.
I'm just wondering if Arnold was just sussing out the competition in the first third of the race, because this is much more like the pace we know, and we know he can beat Kyle, we know he can beat Jamie. I mean, he's done it 3 times this season. So I just think he was just doing his own little thing, working out what the others are going to do, and now it's going to come to him.
Car's gone. Someone's lost it. It's NK Bourne. No, he's I don't think he's got any sort of tire problems, has he? He just spun. So he's got to make sure he doesn't get into the way. These guys coming up the hill. Kyle passes him. Look out for Arnold. Yeah, look at the lag. Look at the lag. Arnold's having to go all over the road. He doesn't know where NK Bourne's going. And
pitted, I think.
Kyle is ahead of Bazza.
Yeah, I was thinking Bazza was maybe going to get DRS there from the spinning NK Bourne, but it wasn't to be, and that would have made things a lot more difficult for Kyle, but no, easy move for Kyle, using the overspeed of the DRS, and flies past him and up into third place. Next up on his radar, Dexter, and then a 4-second gap to Paul. Arnold looks like, unfortunately for him, he's going to catch Baza in the middle part of the lap, and we know, we've discussed it, it's very difficult to make a move there, and that could hamper his progress.
What's worse is that even if he gets into the DRS of Baza, there's a very good chance that Baza will still be in a DRS of Kyle, so Arnold's not going to have an easy time to overtake right now. He's going to have to hope Baza pulls outside, which he has. This has to be a one and done, and he's got to hope that Dexter gives Kyle a hard time here, because this could start to become a bit difficult, because these guys in the medias at the moment, they're not going to pit for a little while longer, I wouldn't imagine, so this will not be as simple as it maybe looks on paper.
Yeah, Kyle's doing great. He's keeping the pressure on, isn't he? Go on, Jacko.
I was just going to say, what a wretched day for Pete. He retired, as we saw about a minute ago. Now he's left the session, the outgoing champion. Just a mention on him. He did a great defence, getting all the way to round 3 as Arnold passes Baza, but that is now confirmed that he is handing over the championship to one of these 5 today.
Well, I was completely wrong. The people in the meeting decided they were going to pit on that lap. Apart from Baza, I was right about him at least, but it is 9-1-2, Kyle and Arnold.
Yeah, and 1.6, so the gap kind of stabilising around that, even with the traffic, so no real gainers through the traffic of the medium runners. So they both pitted on lap 11, and they've got 4 lap old mediums on, and we'll wait and see what the second phase of the race then brings. So onto the mediums they go. Let's see how the pace is for Arnold. You guys mentioned, but this is much more like him, much more what we expect from the Belgian driver. So let's see, can he reel in Kyle and make a fist of this? At the minute, you've got to feel J-Luke, Camel Babo, and especially Iceman are needing a twist in this race, whether it be rain, whether it be a safety car. It's certainly clouded over, hasn't it, from what it was like earlier on in this race. Looking out the commentary box window, no sign of any brawlies going up yet in the grandstand. The cloud is coming in. Will we see some rain? Wow,
I'm most impressed with Camo Babo actually staying with Jamie on this stint at the moment. That's impressive. Still giving himself a shot at the title, staying in the battle. He just needs a safety car, like you say, Andy, to bring him all the way back in.
Yep, and especially Iceman, he's having a torrid afternoon so far. That early pit stop, everyone's now stopped. He's outside the points, down in the traditional points in 11th place. He's actually under pressure from Risky here. Iceman defends the inside, but this is going to be slammed down, easy peasy. And Risky doesn't need to take a risk this time. He flies past Iceman and up into 11th place, and Iceman down to a lowly 12th. Things not going well for that man.
Shame that he's worked so hard to get here in that second half of the season, and it is sort of a struggle at the moment, but we're not even a half race distance left, people, so we'll see if it gets any easier for him, but he is letting people through very easily. We'll see what happens later on, but he isn't looking particularly great. But mind you, if he makes his second pit stop for everyone else and he gets a safety car, he's straight back into it. It's just the way this works, but yeah, we'll see.
Mr. Dr. Pepper's just come out onto the racetrack. Yeah, Dexter just ahead of TC there, and onto a fresh set of medium cars. So let's see how he gets on and how long he stretches that one out. So lap 17 then out of 36. It's flowing by. We're almost at half distance already, and it's Kyle by 2 seconds over Arnold. He's stabilised and stretched the gap ever so slightly. He's just managing it, keeping Arnold at arm's length at the minute. Things going to plan for Kyle at the minute, but as we know, so many things can happen in JACKOCAR, and it usually does. So Kyle from Arnold, Baza in third, yet to make the stop, and then J-Luke after that costly error. He'll be kicking himself for that one, won't he?
Oh, there's nearly contact down there at turn 2. Yeah, okay, everyone had to get the penalty there just to avoid the accident. But yeah, certainly Jamie's going to want to. He's going to want to kick himself, but he's going to be hoping at this end a bit of a chaos. He needs safety car 2, and look at that dive from Risky. That's going to go round. He's not going to hit anything too hard, I don't think. Oh, he's out. Okay, I'm completely wrong. He hit it much harder than. Look, he's got no damage to the front wing. No damage to the front wing. Tyre completely gone. Dear.
It's one of those ones, Owen, where you just catch it at the wrong angle in the barrier. You always want to catch the barrier flush. Wasn't the case there, and he is out of this race, and he's changed the complexion of the race. And the safety car is out at half race distance, and that will neutralise the field, close everyone back up, and that will be a sigh of relief to J-Luke, Camel Babel, and crucially of all, Iceman, who was down in a lowly 12th place, and he's about to get a brand new set of tyres. I think he's been on those mediums for 14 laps. So, big reset, but let's just talk about that incident first of all. for Risky. Pretty much living up to his name there, wasn't he? Went to the dive, wasn't going to work out, went for a spin, and into the barrier he went and ended his Grand Prix.
Shame that, but you can see it coming from a mile away. We cut to that fight and they were already banging wheels. And yeah, the contact in the end, inevitable, and the crash too. But it does make the race nice and shaken up. Obviously, no one out here has got big enough front wing damage to require a pit stop, apart from possibly Connor. You can see that the front left-hand's end plate's completely gone. So he might well be allowed to pit. I'm sure he'll probably protest it if you try and take it off him, Jacko, but I wouldn't be at all surprised to see him maybe the only one to pit. I mean, I know Karen likes to... Connor likes to complain.
Karen. No.
But he's in the pits anyway. I'm sure he'll be allowed to get away with that one. He's the only one who's going to pit because, again, if you're not aware, you're not allowed to pit on the safety car unless you've got significant damage.
It all depends what his display is showing, so if he's been given red by the game, which we know does happen, then this is fair enough, because you're not expected to look outside the car when you're sat in it. So we'll let it go for now, we'll inquire about it afterwards if we have to, but more exciting, we've got 4 of the top 5, or 4 of the championship 5 in those top 5 positions. This is just what we needed, I think.
That's feeling a bit lost in here now. Because this race has been ruined by this. He hasn't pitted yet, and well, no. he's not allowed to pit, and that's a bit frustrating for us as well, because it means that he can't really let the championship 4, as it were, get up to each other. We could have had a top 4, Jacko, where your role is made Bowser sit here and think, what am I going to do?
Well, he's allowed to be there. He's not a lap down, so he's entitled to fight. But of course, a pit stop down on all of them. In fact, the lead guy with 2 stops is Riley, so that brings him back into it. Bill also pits under safety car. Not sure how bad his damage is.
Let's have a look. We'll see if it comes off.
After Riley, you've got Newgard, who was leaving the pits as the safety car come out. So he's in a good position now.
He's no damage there, Jacko. As Bill.
To be fair to Bill, he's probably forgotten because he is a reserve driver.
Fair enough, but
it would be a 30-second penalty if it is illegal. We'll find out after the race.
But
that's not where our focus is. Our focus is at the front at the moment.
I don't think we'll see the safety car come in on this lap because there's a few cars that are left to catch, but we'll just wait and see anyway. If they are going to go out those lights, it'll be very much at the end of the lap. But I think we might go one more.
Yeah, we'll go one more for sure. So, lap 19 out of 36, first safety car of the afternoon with 1 VSC on the opening lap, and at the minute things are hotting up towards the front. It's Kyle and Arnold looking strong at the minute, and Baza on 18 lap medium tires. I mean, you mentioned a moment ago, Jacko, he'll be fighting to make that 19 yet. He won't have much to fight with. Let's say. So J-Luke and Camel Babel, very good opportunity for them to make this a 4-car fight to the finish in this JACKOCAR in this finale. I mean, it really is set up perfectly, isn't it? Looks like any chance of rain's disappeared. It looks like the sun's coming back out again, so any chance of that looks to be gone. Kyle, Arnold, J-Luke, Camel Babel, and maybe Iceman, but I think I'd be dreaming to get back into this one from here, but you never know. You never know.
No.
Big thing we got to ask here. We tend to see it quite a lot. We saw it in places like Belgium. How many people do you think we're going to see bolt straight into the pit lane when this safety car is called in?
It's the perfect time for another set of meets, isn't it?
It's exactly the right time for more mediums. You might even be able to stretch a set of salts, maybe, with another safety car. Somebody might want to take that risk. But I'm sure someone in that top 5, the top 4 in this challenge, must be thinking, I've got to find a way of getting through here. Camo Barrow must be thinking, I've got to find some creative way of getting to the front of this pack. And if he pits, sets a new set of tyres on, we get no more safety cars, or even if we do get a safety car, he's in free air, and he gets that for a few laps, and that could be interesting. So we'll see what they decide to do here. As wing damage. There's been a crash, and OKK is out of the race, and Campbell Babo's hit. Oh dear, we've got penalties all over the place. Campbell has got one. I believe Paul will have one. I can't check.
Does the safety car come out again? No, it's not, sorry.
Right, we are racing again. Let's go.
So,
Straight into the pits. They're all straight into the pits, like I said. And Camo will lead the race then. Kyle speeds into the pit lane. Wow. Okay, this is advantage Arnold, but let's see who gets the advantage in the pit stops. Because there might well be people getting held here. Massive wing downs, people like Paul McGuinness. But let's see if, say, Jamie gets held up. Oh, I don't know who's going to come out in the front here. I think it'll still be Kyle. But he's got a 5-second penalty to deal with now. And that's something that he really was not expecting or needing today. Let's see if Arnold can get out safely. Because if he does, this could be his championship being made right now.
Kyle is the man who doesn't get penalties. It's crucial for this.
I'll tell you what, it's a great opportunity for the likes of Newgarden and Connor to go and win this race, because they just pitted for fresh tyres. Connor 2-lap-old hards and Newgarden on 3-lap-old mediums, so they've got an opportunity to go and win the race. But if, as you mentioned, all focus on the championship. Kyle with that 5-second penalty, what a shame that is. Is it going to go Arnold's way then?
It looks that way, but again, we'll say it again. Long way to go, and they aren't even the net race leaders anymore. So they've got to make sure that they keep this good, because it's Riley and it's Connor. They are the net race leaders right now. CC and Camu Babo into the pits. What a shame for Camu Babo. It looks to me like he was the one that got run into, and he's going to have to take a penalty for it, and there's nothing he can do about it, because that 5 seconds, he can't really get it taken off now, because he's having to take it now. Oh, it's painful, this.
So let's make some guesses
here. Oh, look at
this.
Just got to point out, Jamie's on the sauce, by the way, compared to Arnold on the medias, and they are right next to each other on this track, because it's Arnold then Jamie. That screams fight to me.
So out of the top 7, okay, then none of those guys pitted. I know Bill obviously pitted under the safety car, but out of those, who can get to the end and who can't? Because that's going to be key to see who Kyle's about to come up against, and Arnold and J-Luke.
Honestly, I think Connor might be the only one. I doubt Riley will get the tyres all the way to the end from here. Newgarden, did he pit again? Did he pit again?
Like I say, he pitted. He was coming out the pit lane as the safety car come out as well.
Right, so he's fine as well. So he actually might be all right to get to the end. We'll see, though. We'll see. It's tight margins.
Connor and Bill will be looked at after the race, of course. But for now, let's treat it as if they're racing for the win. Along with Newgarden and Riley, the top 4 all have to pit again.
Tell you what, it's quite nice to see Dexter leading the race again, isn't it? It's been such a long time. It really is.
He'll enjoy this as well.
You'll be loving this. Let's hope we can keep it for a while. Jamie has set the fastest lap of the race. This is starting to get intense, people, because we've got yellows as well. TC is retired in the pit lane. He's given up by the looks of it.
Crash.
And Jamie then, he's got to get the move done, because, again, he might not be aware of Kyle's penalty. And so he's thinking, I'm on the softs, I want to get Kyle. He'd still be angry about his mistake earlier, I'm sure, as well, but he, little does he know, might be in the best position to win this championship again. But it's all about what happens when they catch this traffic, which they probably will do pretty soon.
So J-Luke on the soft, so he'll need to be in again after this, so he'll need to clear Arnold and get up the road, won't he, and then try and stop again.
I'll tell you what, actually, Andy, as well, look at this. Iceman's only, what, 5 seconds off all this? He's not out of this either. He's popped back into the reckoning.
He's coming back into play.
Right.
He really is coming back into play, and with the format and the rules in JACKOCAR, you never know. And here comes J-Luke down the inside of Arnold. This is crucial in the title hunt, and he makes it stick on lap 24 out of 36. Arnold had no answer on those slower medium tyres. J-Luke breezes past and up into P10 on the road at the minute. He now simply has to disappear down the road on those soft tyres. He's got to get a move on.
He's got to make some of those tyres. I've still got enough life in them at the end of the race, because like I said, it's a risk to be running those tyres. It's not exactly easy to get into the end this far. Punctures are certainly a potential, worry to have, but we'll worry about that later on, because Jamie right now, he's just driving with anger at the moment. He wants this, and that could be a championship winning move, but there's such a long way to go in this. We're only at the 2/3 distance, and it can all still switch around from here. And Iceman and Camu Baba are still technically there. Iceman's certainly the closest of the outsiders to go for it, but they'll need probably another safety car to get there, as Yuri is into the pit lane. All these guys at the front are close, but they're not really fighting much.
Well, MK Bourne very, very close, isn't he? The front three really starting to close up now. Dexter, Jordan and MK Bourne. You know, they're all on older tyres. They're all definitely going to stop again. And MK Bourne really closing in on Jordan, going down into Desiro del Lago. Not close enough. Stays in third. And so, you know, it's all starting to close up there. I don't think the championship guys will get up onto that group before they make their pit stops. So they might catch some of them. Oh, Connor's round. He's facing the wrong way. And that will be easy pickings for Kyle, J-Luke and Arnold.
What a shame. He was at the front.
Wing damage.
Oh, he's left. Oh no, this is not a good spot to be. His car's going to have to come back on straight across the track. But luckily there's nothing there to hit him. Paul McGuinness is also retired into the pit lane, so he's out of the race as well. Dropping like flies now. These guys have been down to 13 drivers.
Yeah, and as you'd expect, J-Luke catching Kyle hand over fist, but credit to Arnold where credit is due. He's clinging on to J-Luke despite being on the slower medium tyres. You've got to feel he's the man at the minute. He's the shoes you'd like to be in. He's putting in a fine effort here. He's using that DRS and just clinging on to the back of J-Luke. And at later stage of this race, that's going to benefit him with J-Luke's tyres dying away. The medium is the race tyre to be on at this stage. And he's surely got to be the favourite.
Paul McGuinness's ghost car there really getting into the way of the race leaders. Luckily they didn't hit him, but they're getting close to him. And well, Arnold is definitely, yeah, he is sticking with us, isn't he? So this will be interesting. Iceman falling away, but it looks a bit. So yeah. He is not looking great for him. But certainly these top three then. Kyle is going to be absolutely fuming. He had this in his hand, and he's surely right now, must be thinking, I've lost this.
Yeah, both Kyle and J-Luke with blunders on pit lane entry. Incredible. It just goes to show you, in a championship finale, you can be this great driver, you can have a great season, win all those races, but something so simple as entering the pit lane normally and within the rules can become a difficult task. And both drivers have succumbed, one bouncing off barriers and damaging the wing, and the other, well, completely missing the speed limit. And if I'm not mistaken, was it Campbell Babel as well? No, it was Riley, wasn't it? They also done it earlier on, but it just shows the pressure can tell. And, you know, it could be a defining moment in this championship. Arnold, the man, keeping his head. Jacko touched on it earlier. He was having his own race in the opening 5-6 laps. We questioned his pace. His pace was there all along. He was just biding his time, building his momentum, moving into the race, and here he is now, putting in a fine show, and he's got to be the favourite in 7th place at the minute to win out of those three. Iceman, Campbell Babel, long shots at this stage.
Riley and Jordan are fighting for the lead. It is Jordan at the front of it at the moment, but the one you'd need to be looking for the net race lead is actually Newgarden. So he has got an alright gap to build. So it'll take them quite a while, these guys, to catch him. So Newgarden is a feature for the race win at the moment. I argue it'll be quite difficult for him to keep it, but he might well have a part to play in these guys as they all come through past Bill now. Jamie might have got a bit held up. Arnold certainly will get a bit held up, as Bill, in fairness, actually does get out of the way. Didn't have to do that, and Riley has got ahead of Jordan because Jordan's into the pit lane.
Sadly, Riley is the only person who I don't have telemetry for. He hasn't linked his PlayStation with us, so I can't tell you how bad or good his tyres are. But he is in the box seat, he is there for position if he can carry it on all the way. If not, as you say, Owen, Newgarden could be looking at victory here.
I mean, I'm sort of discounting Riley just because of his tyres being 14 laps over. They could get to the end. It's not unreasonable, actually, in fairness to say it. Just a bit more unlikely. But we'll see. It's either Riley or Newgarden who'd be in the best position. But like I say, these are all catches anyway. And when Kyle does, that's going to be really interesting, because at this point he's going to be praying for Jamie's tyres to start falling off, because now he sees the lap counter, it's falling, and he's losing the championship right now.
Yeah, this is what we were talking about earlier on, wasn't it, when Yuri was defending and hanging drivers out to dry. You know, Kyle needs to be careful here. He can be coming up to guys on much older tyres, much less pace, nothing to lose, remember, none of these top two. He's got it all to lose, and so do the two behind him. He just needs to pick the right moment to make that move. Do not get caught on the outside of one of these drivers. They don't care. They might hang out to drive. Look at
Jamie. He's going for it. Down the inside. And it's an easy move in the end, isn't it? Will Carl have a chance to come back? Is that maybe what he was planning? He gets DRS now, of course. He's on to the overtake mode, and he wants to come back potentially. But Jamie stays to the inside line, and Carl doesn't decide to go for the slipstream, and he's decided to bide his time. But now it's Jamie into the net championship position on track.
And this is the battle we've been bigging up all season. They've raced each other cleanly up till now, but surely it's coming. Fireworks on their way.
Big
or
move
will we
that.
not get it?
Big move that in context of this race. Arnold now will be thinking, oh, I need to get ahead of Kyle. I need to keep the pressure on J-Luke. Kyle, we know, has got this penalty looming. Arnold must be thinking, come on, I need to get ahead here. I need to be the one attacking Jamie because Kyle's got the penalty. Arnold might not be aware of that, but at the minute, Kyle...
They'll say it on the graphic. They'll see it on the graphic, Andy. Arnold will see a big 5-second penalty on there for Kyle. He'll know. And who's this moving over? Is it Connor? So they've got by him. So certainly Arnold will know he has to do this. But this is it. Newgarden, this is for position. He wants his P2. He doesn't want to have any mess in the way here. He also knows, however, that the guy at the back of this train is Arnold, his teammate. So this is very interesting. How hard is he going to make this? Jamie does get by. Kyle gets held up.
Yeah, Kyle held up there. I think Newgarden, even if he was motivated to try and help his teammate, I don't think he had much choice in the matter because J-Luke was absolutely flying and straight out the way gets Newgarden to free
he's
up
off. He's gone off.
And Arnold, so he's off. He's way off. So Newgarden out of this one. And Riley then, 16-lap old mediums. He's got a 5-second advantage over the chasing pack, the chasing title rivals. Can he hold on? Surely not for that long with those tyres. We'll have to wait and see. But it's all shaping up now.
Nice man's had a spin in the wall. Nice man's off.
Well, that could be curtains. Yeah, it really could be, yeah. Kamababu is also nowhere. He's near enough. He is last. Kamababu is last because Connor's not here. So
I think we're at the point now where we just say not could be, it is curtains for both Kamababu and
look at Jamie.
And Kyle desperately. This is it now. You're absolutely right what you said a moment ago, Jacko. Fireworks here. The pot is simmering. It's about to boil over here in Sao Paulo, Brazil. And this title showdown. 5 laps to go. Is it J-Luke? Is it Kyle? Is it Arnold? Which one of these three is going to take home the JACKOCAR crown? We're on the edge of our seats, and I'm sure you are back home. This is going to be fantastic.
Arnold has got to get a move on now because he's not in position to take advantage. These guys start fighting. He is saving ERS. That's what these top two aren't doing. They are fighting each other for this, and it's going to cost them potentially. But they need to actually start doing that for Arnold's strategy to work out. Because he's sitting there waiting, praying that they just get into a tussle and he can use his ERS to blast by. He will need to hope that Kyle's angry enough to try and go for this on Jamie, but he's not close enough. But as you can see, they've run out of ERS. That's something that Arnold doesn't have to worry about.
Arnold has the best tyres out of these three currently, and Jamie's, unbelievably, are worst. His softs are starting to die a lot quicker.
They are.
And here comes Kyle. He's in position as Kyle. Jamie's not going to have much traction coming out of this corner. DRS wide open, using a dab of overtake. Is he going to dive up the inside into the Desiro do Lago? He has a look. Jamie keeps the door open. So close between them and Arnold. In the background, they're just going to watch on. We spoke about this in qualifying. Can you go round the outside here? You can, but Kyle decides against it, and J-Luke climbs on for now. Meanwhile, further up the road, Riley is looking at a maiden victory here, and the longer J-Luke stays at the front of this pack, the more likely that becomes. Incredible stuff.
First time winner, first time champion. You're seeing it all here right now, but who is going to take this title? We've got just 4 to go at the end of this lap. We've all said all day, what have we got another 2008? How much more 2008 can you get? This is the top 3 in the championship, and at this rate, they're going to be relying on a last minute overtake. Does Arnold possibly fancy trying to have a go now on Kyle? Because he will be aware of the how long's left in the race as well. They've got to start thinking about this tactically. They need to think about how they're going to do this, and they've got to think about it now.
This is it. This is it. This is the chance Kyle's been waiting for. Absolutely epic through the centre edge. Jamie swirling around, looking for grip. DRS open, overtake, he's got barely any left as Kyle. He's drained the battery, he's down the inside into the Cino Delago, and he's taking the place away from J-Luke and powers through into the lead and into potential title glory.
And this gives Arnold the perfect opportunity to go for this on Jamie. All he has to do is pass the man in the purple car, because Kyle's penalty will not be taken off him whatsoever. So Arnold, now all he has to do with his extra ERS is blast past Jamie, and Jamie knows this. Jamie's going to want straight back by Kyle again, and Riley has a 4-second lead. I think you're right here, Andy. This is looking like a maiden victory for the short track merchant.
Oh, and Riley will become the 8th different winner this season as Arnold has a moment out of that penultimate corner.
That's going to cost him. That's going to cost him the ERS advantage. He's having to use it all to catch back up. He'll be kicking himself. He's going to be hoping that Jamie wants to have a go on Kyle. We keep saying it all season. These guys want to have fights. We want to see them go for it. And look at Kyle squirming through the first centre S. And Jamie, I don't know if he's going to go for it again. How aggressive does he want to be at the end of this race? Because here he comes. He's getting close, but just not close enough. Arnold's back in contention now.
We are 8 miles from the end of this championship, and we still have no idea who is going to take home the crown. We've been to Asia, we've been to Europe, we've been to North and South America. Still, we do not know, with 8 miles to go, who's going to be champion here in JACKOCAR today. Is it going to be Kyle? Is it going to be J-Luke? Is it going to be Arnold? Arnold is just pushing so hard. He's taking every last bit of rubber out of those tyres. We've seen it on the previous lap, going through Jean-Sao. What about this time round? He has to get closer to J-Luke. He's got to make that move. But the longer Kyle sits in front of J-Luke, the DRS will remain for J-Luke, and the harder it will be for Arnold to make that move. Lap 35 coming right up. We're still on the edge of our seats. We still have no idea who's going to be champion. 5 miles to go.
Right, here we go again. Jamie's right on the back of Kyle again. But his tyres, not another one for Arnold. He's got to keep it on the road. Jamie now can sit back. He can think, I don't need to go for the move now. I'm not under that much pressure. Arnold is blowing this championship right now because he can't keep his bottle. And I'm amazed that Jamie's tyres are still alive. How is Jamie's tyres looking?
All the way down. They're high 60%. Arnold still has the best tyres, but he can't keep it between the lines at the moment.
High 60%,
a lap and a half to go. High
60%,
60%, yeah.
70%, that's when puncture territory comes in, people. This, oh my goodness.
Speaking about puncture territory, Riley's on 21 lap old mediums. There could be a twist in the tail at the front as well yet.
Well, this could still be a fight for the race win. You just don't know. But for Riley's sake, let's just hope that this is going to be a victory. We're not going to get to see much of him on this lap, but he's about to start this final lap of the season. He's leading it. Not in the championship, but certainly a fantastic performance.
Season 2 of JACKOCAR, 1 to go. Riley Byers looking at being the 8th different winner this season. But the interest is further back. Kyle, Jamie, Arnold all piled into turn 1. Who's going to do it?
It's simple for Arnold. Keep it clean, keep it tidy, you'll have a chance. It's that simple. Keep it clean, keep it tidy, out of that last corner, focus through the middle sector. You will get a chance. Only one, but it's a chance nonetheless if you keep it clean.
At the minute, Kyle can almost say he's out of it now, unfortunately. He's got that penalty. He's in trouble now with that. Arnold has got to try something creative. We said this earlier on. We sort of joked about it, but we sort of we have to say it in reality. The only way Arnold's going to win this championship is with a late dive bomb. And we know with this league that is perfectly allowed as long as you make it at least a decent attempt to pass. But Arnold's just not close enough. I think Jamie might have this, unless his tyres go. This is it. Let's see. Do the tyres stay? Riley is 2 seconds up the road. He's going to win the race. His first ever win in JACKOCAR. But let's see. What is the tyres going to do? Is Jimmy going to make it? I think even if they go now, he's done it. Riley wins the race. But your Season 2 champion is Jamie. It's over.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Wow, what a finale that was. The tyres were screaming for mercy. J-Luke was having absolutely none of it. The race winner was having none of it either on 23 lap old mediums. But J-Luke is the champion here in JACKOCAR with an incredible decision to go on to the softs. He made the move on Kyle. He kept him at arm's length. He kept, he kept Arnold at arm's length with that DRS advantage to Kyle, and he's done the job. Incredible stuff from J-Luke, and well done to Riley on a first win.
Kyle is going to be absolutely devastated by that, because he was the man ahead. It's just that speeding into the pit lane, it was so unnecessary, and he's going to know it as well. That is a tough loss to take, especially with someone who's been so dominant, but he has still had a superb season. Hopefully he'll be back next season stronger. But it is Jamie then, the championship winner. I'm sure he probably wouldn't have thought that'd be possible with all the bad luck he'd had this season, but finally it's come together. The man in the purple car has done it. See, this is what happens when you get out of the Lotus. I've been telling him all season. He's got rid of it and he's won the championship.
Oh, a little bit of backstory on J-Luke. He almost had a seat in season 1 and then opted out, and it was given to, I think, not Waze, but somebody else had it. Season 2, he had abuse all the way through the regular season, and then, of course, the playoffs. I said, alright, let's be fair now. You're a good driver, you can win this, go to the Championship 5 and do your very best. And he's done that today. Your Season 2 champion is Jamie Wright, the man from Barnsley. He's done it. What a drive.
Absolutely superb season finale there. Absolutely on the edge of our seats there at the end of that one. Hope all the viewers enjoyed that one. We got a maiden winner, we got a brand new champion, and I tell you what, I cannot wait to do this all again next season. Can we just start next season now? What a season.
A 2-month wait and we're back for season 3. We start in Australia.
Well, luckily, I still get to stick around the Garden Boss because we have got the F2 season coming up with the F2 cars. And I will be commentating on that one. I believe that starts next week, actually, or at least very soon.
Yeah, it does.
So you'll still get to see some of me on here, but for these guys, a lot of them, you're not going to see them for quite a while. And what a way to sign off. I can't believe we've just seen that. Riley, the short track merchant, then wins in Brazil. Jamie comes home second. That makes him the champion. And then it is Arnold who finishes, I guess, second in the championship. Who would have thought that, with Kyle only third in the championship? You'd be disappointed with that one. Fourth in the championship ends up Iceman, and fifth is Camu Barrow. Great season from those two as well. Just a shame the race didn't work out for them today. Rest of the order today, though, fifth place in the race, Jordan, then MK Bourne, Dexter, Newgard, and Yuri. And then Iceman, we've got Bill, Cambabo, Baza, Connor, Paul, TC, OKK, Risky, and Pete. And that is us for season 2. 17 thrilling races. Very successful season. Anything you want to say? I'm sure you're probably better with the thanks, Jack.
Yes. I saw us peak at 22 viewers at one point, which is the most we've ever had for just a JACKOCAR race, if you ignore the charity races. I don't know if it got any higher than 22, but that's impressive numbers. Thanks to everyone who participated in the video message earlier on, and all the interaction this evening and today and this week. It's been brilliant, really.
And of course, massive thank you to Andy for again being the guest commentator. We've got to try and get you in for one of the F2 streams. We have rolling commentators. It's me and someone else every week. I've got to get you in for one of those weeks, because you don't want to miss racing like this, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, that tonight was another epic instalment of JACKOCAR, where you get 5 men going for a title. Whoever comes out on top wins the title, win or bust. And again, it was absolutely brilliant. 3 of them right in it till the very end, and a massive congrats to J-Luke flinging on those tyres. And you know what the key was? It was staying in DRS to Kyle in the closing laps. That was what it was all about. Arnold just kept lighting up the tyres. The pressure got to him when the heat turned up, and it just wasn't to be for him. It was a great effort, but just not enough. And well done to J-Luke. Fantastic result to recover from that early setback in the pits to win the title. So well done to him.
Well, I believe then that's us then. 2 very successful seasons of JACKOCAR F1. It's been a pleasure. Cheers to everyone who watched, cheers to everyone who took part, cheers to all the commentators as well that helped us out throughout the season. That's Andy, Jacko with me, got Austin as well.
Austin in Australia we had, wasn't it? So.
Yeah, so thanks to everyone for that. As I said, I'll be back next week with the F2 series. Don't know exactly who's going to be in commentary with me. Like I say, it's a 5-week series and we'll have a different co-commentator with me every week. So should be some good variety and it'll be a good off-season fun. So do join us for that. But from all of us here in Brazil, cheers for watching and we'll see you soon. Safe travels, everybody. Stay safe, etc. And Merry Christmas if we don't see you again.